Okay, so here's a walk around of my 2004 Dodge RAM SRT10. It is a 8.3 liter V10 T56. I believe it's Dana 60 with 411 gears in the back. All the manuals came with that. But just do a quick walk around. We'll look underneath it a little bit. This particular truck has Mopar aftermarket headers on it, as well as high flow cats and a MagnaFlow cat back. Sounds really good. Alright, so now we'll take a look at the interior. There's your mileage, 41,362 at the moment. 6-speed transmission, stock, pretty much everything. I have added a shift light, which also doubles as a launch control light. It's adjustable. It's hooked into the speed control sensor on the car, so when it's stopped, that you can have a second RPM limit. Down into the pedal well a little bit. Got your adjustable pedals on this unit, just like all of these do. Seats are in excellent shape. A little bit of just creasing here, but nothing that you wouldn't expect for a leather seat. It's good on that side. Got all our compartments. All the airbag recalls have been done on this truck. There's the dyno job runs I had done to when I first got it to prove that the air fuel ratio was good considering all the mods. It is. Okay, so then we got middle seat, another little compartment. The only thing in the interior that annoys me, but it isn't anything serious, is the latching mechanism for this thing is failed, and they don't make those anymore, and I haven't been able to find one in a junkyard, so it stays up. Power driver's seat. Amplifier. As far as I can tell, that's the factory location in 2004. There's a bunch of stuff in this truck, specifically a couple of cross members underneath around the engine that look like they were done in a backyard somewhere, but it's because they didn't really have a plan for when they were putting these together the first time. The 5 and 6s are a little bit more well executed, let's say. There's your subwoofer, that's factory. Again, I think out of the Viper. Sliding black glass, everything works fine. Nothing too unexpected here. All right, let's pop the hood and take a look underneath the hood. And there she is in all her ludicrous glory. It does have a K&N FIPK kit on it. You can see the headers. There is a Mopar number on those somewhere. That's how I looked them up. They were not cheap. They came with all of this insulated wrap, but this is an AC line that was just exposed to it, so I just wrapped it with some stuff to help it out. Didn't really need it. The AC was fine, but why not? See these two little this yellow and blue wire in here? That's where I get my tach signal, as well as the speed sensor signal that runs to the shift light. See the headers on this side. I think these are really impressive because they actually wrap around the steering column, and the steering would have had to have been removed in order to do that. I'll show you one of the things on this truck that's really screwy, but it's kind of a quirk. This line is your electric fan. The fan's hydraulic, and it's actually run, I believe, by the power steering pump. You can hear it spool up when you fire the car up in the morning. I'm assuming that's because that's how it's done in the Viper, and they just didn't care to figure out how to do anything else. Yeah, it's the fan, the electric, or the fans, the cooling fans in this truck are hydraulic. Alright, so we'll take a look down low, which is fairly low. Nothing too much to see from the front. She's pretty good and dry. And now we're going to move to the side so you can see the rebuilt transmission as well as the rest of the pipes. Okay. I don't like this because it's going to be hard for this thing to get white adjustment, so we'll go over to this side and try it. So there's a new T56, or rebuilt T56. Underneath that bell housing is a brand new rear main seal, brand new flywheel, brand new power center force clutch pressure plate, throw out bearing, and it has the upgraded Viper metal slave cylinder. So you can see the pipes in the background. Back into the headers here, high flow cats, and across into the MagnaFlow exhaust system, and that has a couple of patches on it because whoever did this job, they welded everything. I mean, you can see the welds. This whole exhaust system is welded, but they did not put the hangers on the back muffler, the can back there, and they rattled and broke off. So after I got it, I patched the holes and then put some hangers on it to make sure that it didn't end up cracking anything else of this ridiculously expensive exhaust system. So the other thing you can see, we'll move a little further down, this has slapper bars on it from the factory right here, and some pretty significant bump stops up top. They were all rotted away when I got it, so these are all brand new 2 years ago. Make sure that the rubber is all good on this thing for traction control, and she does not hop. She is pretty good. And under the back, I did put a spare tire on it. It did not come with one. Here's the old Dana 60, 411s, 410s. I'm not sure which, but 4 something. What in the heck? I'll be darned. Ha! This thing does not have a trailer hitch on it. But it does have a 4-prong, which must be left over from the typical 1500s, which is cute. I hadn't noticed that before. But Bilstein shocks all the way around, as well as a Bilstein stabilizer on the top of the differential to, again, help control the torque application of the road. This unit does not have its original wing. It does have this really nice ARE paint matched tonneau cover and a bed liner, and both of which are in excellent shape. A little bit of oil in there from when I had the transmission and stuff stored in there while it was out of the car while I was having it rebuilt. But she's clean, never been beat on, hardly a mark anywhere. You can also probably notice it does have aftermarket taillights. They're LED. They're okay. I don't know. It came with the truck. I wouldn't have put them on there, but why not? I left them. There wasn't anything that I really would make me put a set of factory ones back on it. It isn't terrible. They're all right. But so that is a quick walk around. Look at the passenger door. That's my nice shadow in the picture. That's a quick walk around. Here's that shifter showing it popping beautifully. as it's supposed to from a centering standpoint. Nice and smooth. There's some issues with T56s where that'll get bound up and bad things will happen. Does have all the original books. And this thing, I don't know what it is, but I think it used to have a spare tire lock on it, which may explain why it didn't come, or maybe that's why that's in there. But it didn't come with one, so I added it. I don't know what that is because it doesn't have wheel locks on it, but it came with it. So, and that's it. That is my 2004 Ram SRT10 with just over 41,000 miles on it. Discussing, this is my 2004 Dodge Ram SRT10. It's got the 8.3 liter V10 out of the Viper in it, T56 6-speed, and a bunch of aftermarket modifications that you'll see in the video. Nothing too wild, but enough to make it a little bit more fun than what I would predict stock might have been. Taking it for a little drive just to show you how everything works. One of the other add-ons that you won't see outside is, it's in the camera frame, I've got a Viper because of the bad shifting and some of the hammer-fisted clowns who've owned this truck before I did, pretty much everything else in the clutch and power transfer system was junk. So I have all these receipts. It has a brand new Mopar flywheel, the latest upgraded. The original one had an AA on the end of it. This one's an AB. It has a brand new center force clutch and pressure plate. I believe a brand new center force throwout bearing. And it had already been upgraded from the plastic slave cylinder that these came with to a Viper style metal slave cylinder, so I didn't upgrade that because that's already done and it didn't leak and it works fine. But with all of those mods, this thing is fabulous. I mean, you can see I'm not even thinking about shifting. Before, you could never find a gear if you wanted to, and now it's just brilliant. It's a wonderful truck to drive. A couple of the other little things I've done to it, the exhaust system had a couple of holes in it when I got it because it had hangers on the main muffler in the back, and whoever the hell installed it didn't put the little rubber dog bones on it to hold them to where they're supposed to be. So that, over the course of time, they fatigued, vibrated, and fell off, and it was so loud it'd make teeth bleed. So I patched that, built up a set of hangers to attach the thing, because the exhaust system's been completely welded in. Whoever did it spent some money on it, and I didn't want to have to, eventually replace any of it because it cracked, because I don't want to have it welded. So the exhaust system's got hangers on it now, and I patched those holes, so this is the proper sound, and I think it's much, much better. Before, I couldn't even talk at this level. pretty stiff. Kind of has to be to handle the power and the torque. But on roads around here, it can get kind of bumpy. You can see engine temperature, oil temperature, they all stay nice and quiet. You know, you get in traffic and start screwing around with it in third and fourth gear, making a lot of noise, annoying people, and the engine temperature will go up over 200. Oil temperature, that is, it'll get up over 200, but it comes back down when just, you know, get it in gear and start moving. Doesn't have any issues with that. So that's it. It's a maybe not so quick drive of my 2004 Ram SRT10.